I'm gonna be slandering a lot of shows today, but I love most of these. I just also love making fun of things. I might be vegan, but I love a good roast.
I'm a weirdo. Hey.
What the hell? Yeah, wow.
You dog, you.
You know what I like about rich kids? Nothing.
Okay, what the hell just happened?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Ali, and today we are discussing the TV shows that got us through high school. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of your support on my recent videos and like my pop culture videos. I have just been feeling the love from you guys so much, especially the past year. It's been really hard in lockdown. If you didn't know, I live in Melbourne. We were basically locked in our homes for 2 years. This has just been a really nice sort of creative outlet and also a nice way to connect with all of you and just reflect on the simpler times in life, aka the 2000s. If you didn't know, I've already made a bunch of ranking videos on my channel before. Every Taylor Swift song, One Direction songs, High School Musical songs, Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, Zac Efron movies, so I will link all of those below. Last time we did the iconic teen movies of the 2000s, today we're doing the TV shows. The thing that I'm gonna struggle with today is I don't know whether to rank these in terms of like quality and how good they were or just how much I enjoyed it, because I love a bit of trash, let's be honest. If you like my pop culture videos and want to see more rankings from me, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also feel free to let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Alright, so let me run you through my tiers. At the top we have God tier. It's the best, it's just unbeatable.
Not debatable, not up for debate.
Next we have Miley's bun, which to me is simply iconic. Miley's top knot circa 2011, where she would wear like high-waisted shorts and crop tops and walk around Toluca Lake. She was just single-handedly keeping American Apparel in business. When she stopped wearing them, that's when they had to close. Next we have recycling. It's a little bit trash, but you'll watch it again and again anyway. You know, it's got a second life. Next we have Where the Hell Have I Been, Loca?
Bella! Where the hell have you been, Loca?
Any shows that I put in this category, I just haven't seen, and I'm gonna try and guess what I think they're about because I think that'd be fun. Also, I need a new show to watch. So based on like what I like, I feel like you guys would be pretty good at giving me a recommendation. So feel free to pick anything from this tier. I also haven't seen Sex Education, so I should probably watch that. Finally, we have Jail. The shows that go here: Do Not Deserve Rights, Do Not Pass Go, Do Not Collect $200, straight to jail.
It's gonna be so bad.
Let's get into it. All right, first up, Miss Pretty Little Liars.
Hello, sister.
We cannot deny this show was iconic. It was the moment, let's be honest. I personally was so invested in this show that my best friend and I had a Pretty Little Liars Theory Tumblr account. Mildly successful too. I think we had like 30,000 followers. And I will stand by the fact that I think Ren should have been A. I feel like the whole time they were leading to it being Ren, and then people figured it out because they gave clues. I'm like, oh, well, we better change it up so that it's a surprise. The thing is, if you leave clues and Easter eggs for people and they figure it out, then you've done your job. You don't need to change it. Can you tell I get pretty heated thinking about the finale? Also, the CC thing, I'm sorry, but they absolutely pulled that storyline out of nowhere. You cannot tell me that she knowingly dated her own brother. No, I'm Marlene King. We need to have words.
Previously on Pretty Little Liars.
Your phone? Oh my god, that does sound scary. If only techno boy toy Caleb was around to protect your devices. We might not have Caleb, but I know who can help. Today's video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. VPN is a virtual private network, and just the same way that you would protect your house with a security system, this is basically protecting you online. Because I spend almost as much time online as I do in my house, this is just as important. But honestly, the thing that I mostly use Atlas for is streaming. I obviously love watching TV shows and movies, but a lot of them aren't necessarily on my country's streaming services. For example, I know a lot of you guys are from America. American Netflix does not have Glee, Vampire Diaries, or Gossip Girl, but you know who does? Australia. So you can just use Atlas, switch over your country IP to Australia, and you'll be able to watch it. America, however, has all of Grey's Anatomy, so when I want to watch that, I just switch back over. You're already paying for the Netflix subscription every month. Feels like kind of a waste not to get access to everything on there. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. That means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 per month. Make sure to click the link in my description and get that deal before it expires. Thanks again, Atlas VPN, for sponsoring this part of the video. I really appreciate it. I love your services. Everyone, make sure you go and check them out below. I know I was a child and like it's not my fault, but the fact that I was absolutely rooting for Arya and Ezra to be together. Now watching it as an adult, it is so different. Back in the day, I was literally angry at Arya's parents. I was like, why are you trying to keep them apart? Like, you're so mean. They're in love. No, he needs to be in jail.
Did you know who I was when we met?
Yes, I did. I knew who all of you were.
Right to jail.
And that's why I applied to teach at Rosewood.
Jail, right away.
And the whole time you were using me.
I'm sorry, I'm such an idiot. I am such an idiot. I am a jerk.
I am going to report you right now.
Somebody find him, bring him back, because I will be pressing charges.
But you know what? This town did a lot of blaming the young girls, especially Spencer's parents. They're always like, why can't you keep your hands off Melissa's boyfriends? Why don't we ask why Melissa's grown adult boyfriends in their 20s are hitting on a 16-year-old? Let's start there, shall we? In my last ranking video, I asked if you felt like you were a Lena, Tibby, Bridget, or Carmen. And today I'm gonna ask if you were an Arya, Spencer, Hannah, or Emily. Sadly, I think I was an Arya. As an Aquarius, I just love to be a little bit quirky and different, and yes, I did wear feather earrings because of her, but now I have matured and I have realized that Hannah is by far the superior liar. To the end, to the D, to the...
Crushed it.
I feel like the most superior characters on this show are Hannah Marin, Ashley Marin, and Caleb Rivers.
Want to share a towel too?
My bussy is shaking.
One of my biggest gripes with this show, and trust me, I do have a lot, is Allison's character development. I usually love like a bad boy gone good. One Tree Hill, we'll get to that later. But in this case, if someone's a bitch, I don't want redemption for her. I don't want her to become really sweet and lovely and innocent. Like, stay a bitch. You're iconic.
Don't touch me.
If I get one more threat, I'll bury you.
I accept you. Everybody does.
I'm taking back what's mine.
Think again, pigskin.
Thanks for waiting for me.
Corny, lame, boo, tomato, tomato, tomato.
So that's the queen of mean. Can't watch this.
Season 1 Allison, and like we've got to hand it to 12-year-old Sasha because she was really acting like she dominated this group of 20-year-olds. I loved that for her. I loved having this bitchy mean girl energy. I feel like that was a real quintessential trope of the 2000s. The fact that they tried to make Allie likable just didn't really do it for me. Don't even get me started on the clothes they put her in. I can't. This is what she was wearing when she was proposed to. This is her engagement outfit. That has to be illegal. My favorite Pretty Little Liars boy is definitely Caleb, but I do also have a soft spot for Mr. Alex Santiago. I wish we got more of him. He was like the only normal, wholesome character in the whole show. We still don't know how the mums got out of the basement. The YouTuber Mike's Mike has been doing a great series on Pretty Little Liars, but he figured out seasons 3 to 6, I'm pretty sure it is, take place over like 2 weeks or something insane. This show is just no continuity whatsoever, but I love it.
What? I love garbage.
And finally, I feel like I wouldn't be doing myself justice if I didn't talk today about how much I hate Paige McCullers. I am a human being second and a Paige McCullers hater first.
Coach replaced me as the relay anchor with you. I would never rat out a teammate because my feelings were hurt.
Clap if you think she should suffer.
That bitch can rot. I hate her so much. I hate her stupid haircut. I hate that she tried to drown Emily and then they made them a couple. There's a real issue with lesbian couples either not getting good representation or just being murdered in 2000s shows. I would honestly rather Emily had died than ever have to date Paige because I hate her so much.
So I'm gonna drink my money. I'm not gonna pay his rent. No, 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 no. We're all gonna get in a fight. Electric chair.
So Paige McCullers herself would be going right to jail for obvious reasons, along with most of the male characters in this cast, honestly. But the show itself, I know I'm gonna get judgment for this, guys, but this show, it's kind of like Riverdale. Hear me out. Is it a great quality show? No. The pilot though, iconic. I don't think I can put it in God tier because it doesn't really stand the test of time, but not a single one of you can deny that this show was iconic. Okay, so it is going in Miley's bun. Even the impact that this show had on like style and fashion, that in and of itself is a big discussion, like whether you wanted to dress preppy like Spencer, girly like Hannah, really different and quirky like Aria, or boring like Emily. I feel like this is a good time for us to discuss our A theories. So let me know in the comments who you thought was A or should have been A, and I'll let you know what I thought because I have a lot to say. By the way, did anyone else listen to Lucy Hale's like country music album? I really like her song Lie a Little Better. Check it out. Next we have Vampire Diaries, which I have actually never seen. I honestly don't know if it's like they're vampires or they hunt vampires or they're friends with vampires. I'm gonna guess that they're all vampires, but maybe the good kind of like Twilight, like they don't eat people. And I think the main two are brothers. She dates one of them. And I know that there's a blonde character that is kind of loosely based on Taylor Swift, so that's fun. I feel like it's probably a good show. I just haven't seen it. I'm sorry. So it's going in Where the Hell Have I Been, Loca? Next we have One Tree Hill. If you'll excuse me for a moment. There we go. Where to even begin?
And what are your plans after high school?
After high school, I have cheer practice.
I wanted to try and keep this video spoiler free in case anyone's like halfway through a show. I feel like if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't know, so it's fine. Let me tell you, I have never been more affected by a fictional character's death. I've never loved a character so much and then had them ripped from me unexpectedly. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Fuck. But I tell you what, the fact that the person that killed that character, I still love their character and like their redemption arc is amazing. That's the mark of a good show and good storytelling and good writing because wow. Will I ever get over it? No. If there is any show I wish I could watch for the first time all over again, it is One Tree Hill. It is quite simply the best show of all time. Literally no other show on this list has 9 seasons. It is really that bitch. Thank God I didn't put Grey's Anatomy in here, honestly.
Just wait there, okay? Fadeaway's weakness.
You got nothing, Scott. Nothing.
Brooke Davis is just one of the best written characters of all time. Like I was gonna say female characters, but honestly characters in general. Her growth, her development, incredible. Same with Nathan. I love that their stories kind of mirrored each other and anytime we got to see their friendship, it was just my favorite. I wish we could have seen a bit more of that. Like I wish we got more Brooke and Nathan scenes because they're so good.
We were kind of showering together.
Don't be embarrassed. Everybody has that dream about me.
Quick side note, I think I've cracked the code to having an iconic, successful teen drama. You have to have obviously a blonde brunette duo and then a boyfriend of one of these girls named Nate who the other best friend cheats with. But seriously, why did this happen 3 times? This show just had everything that you could ever want from a 2000s show. Iconic outfits, the teen pregnancy, the love triangles, Hart getting eaten by a dog.
It was a cultural reset.
Honestly, the fashion in this show now, watching it through the lens of today, because obviously we're re-wearing so many like 2000s trends, like all of Brooke's juicy couture matching tracksuits, even Nathan's baggy tracksuits. Like Nathan walked so that Billie Eilish could run. This show really put like a lot of musicians and bands on the map. I don't care how many Grammys you win, if you didn't perform at Trick, you're a nobody. They invented this little band called Fall Out Boy. Ever heard of them? Also, fun fact, Nathan's jersey number is 23, which inspired Michael Jordan so much that he made it his jersey number as well, because Nathan is his favorite basketballer, and who can blame him? It's mine too. I love Deb Scott. She is an iconic woman. Jake Jagelski, we deserved so much more from him. I don't care about Lucas at all, and I only like Peyton when she's with Jake, so I wish they'd ended up together. It's fine. I genuinely think seasons 3 and 4 are the most iconic TV of all time. So season 1 and 2 can be a little bit slow. Watch an episode from season 3 in the first half, okay? In the first half only, or there will be a big spoiler. There's an episode that really just like shot me dead. It is quite obviously God tier. And if I could make a tier just for One Tree Hill, I would. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. You'll thank me later. All right, next we have Blue Water High. And some of you might be like, Ali, what's Blue Water High? I'm so glad you asked. It is an iconic Australian TV show where basically they go to school and then do like a surfing program. Surfing in the 2000s was just everything, wasn't it? I wonder what the equivalent is now. We wanted to be the girls and we wanted to be with the guys. Personally, I liked Fly the best, and I think I wanted to be with Heath, but this show is quintessentially Australian and iconic, so it is going in Miley's bun. Next we have Miss Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Again, this is a show that I've never seen and I feel like I should have and I would probably love it. The vibes I get from just what I've seen on like TikTok and stuff is that, okay, so she's really cool clothes and I think she kills vampires, and then her friends, I don't know if they kill them as well or they like are vampires or they are werewolves and whatnot, but I get the feeling that I would love this show. So if you've seen it, let me know. But sadly, she's going in Where the Hell Have I Been, Loca. Next up we have The OC.
Welcome to the OC, bitch.
Now, I'm gonna say the OC had the second most iconic theme song on this whole list. Obviously the most iconic is One Tree Hill. You can't beat Gavin DeGraw. The OC also had a lot of iconic music. We had a lot of iconic artists, but also just scenes that you can visually, like, you hear a song and it takes you right back to that moment. Fun fact.
Actually, really sad fact.
They have the same music instructor as Grey's Anatomy, so that makes sense. If you know, you know. I only started watching the OC really late in life. I started it like last year and I haven't finished it. So I have all of season 4 to go. I haven't seen any of season 4 and I also haven't seen the season 3 finale, so no spoilers please. Sandy Cohen is definitely another one of my favorite fictional entities.
We Coens are very sexual beings.
I smeared it for you.
He's definitely the best fictional dad of all time. I just adore him. I mean, those eyebrows alone should be in God tier. I think the thing I like about the OC is that it just feels like escapism. Like, it's beautiful, rich people with rich people problems. Plus then Ryan's whole storyline brings this sort of grounded reality to it. Overall, it just kind of has big chosen family energy, which I'm a sucker for at the end of the day. I could honestly cry thinking about the Coens and Ryan and them taking him in, and it's a really good show, guys. I need to get back to watching it. I do need you to comment. Were you more of a Ryan or a Seth girl? Personally, I'm a Seth and also a Nathan, which is kind of contrasting, but I feel like they're both the funniest, so that makes sense. Also, as I've been watching The OC, I feel like the Zach, Summer, and Seth love triangle is just a perfect representation of The Way I Loved You by Taylor Swift. Like, you have this kind of perfect, happy, healthy relationship, but it's a little bit boring, and then there's this other guy that like drives you crazy, but he's the one, and the girls that get it, get it.
If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. If you know, you know.
Also, aesthetically, this show is just like so nice to watch. It's so visually pleasing. When I found out that the outdoor part is a fake set, part of me died that day.
That wasn't real. Don't say that. Please don't say that. It was real. It was real to me.
Also, I can't stop thinking about the fact that Brooke Davis and Summer Roberts would be such good friends.
You know what else is undeniable? The pain this fork is gonna cause when I jam it into your eye.
So I'm gonna put that right up in God tier. Popcorn! Okay, next we have Dawson's Creek. I am so sorry, I haven't seen this show. I feel like it's also set in sort of the Carolinas, similar to One Tree Hill, so maybe I would like it, but I always just got the idea it was a little bit more serious and not quite as like upbeat and funny. I also can't take James Vanderbeek seriously in anything. I just see him as like that crying meme, but I do like Michelle Williams, so I might consider watching it for her. But yeah, let me know if it's any good. Now we have Gilmore Girls.
But my ultimate inspiration comes from my best friend, the dazzling woman from whom I received my name and my life's blood, Lorelai Gilmore. I don't know if she ever realized that the person I most wanted to be was her. Thank you, Mom. You're my guidepost for everything.
I have a confession to make, and I realized this recently. My toxic trait is that I really like Christopher. I know that's a big red flag. I don't necessarily like him for Lorelai, but every time he comes back around, I'm like, oh, you can stay, I guess. However, I do redeem myself by being Team Jess, which I feel like is the only appropriate team to be on.
Why did you drop out of Yale?
We can discuss that in the comments, but Gilmore Girls is quite obviously also a God tier show. It's the kind that I feel like you can rewatch every year and just find more appreciation from, especially with all of their little references and their fast talking. I feel like as an adult now, I can probably pick up on a few more of those. We do not, however, talk about the reboot. Never happened. I just love Lorelai Gilmore. She would be very proud of me for being on my third coffee today.
Late again, are we?
Yes, I hope I'm not pregnant.
What?
It broke my heart when we lost Dave Rygalski because he was just one of my favorite characters and I feel like Lane deserved so much better. But he left to go and do the OC, so it's kind of worth it, I guess. And also Tristan, we lost because he got One Tree Hill. So again, worth it, but ultimately sad. Okay, next we have Degrassi, and I think this is the next generation. It's like the Emma, JT. Oh, now I've said JT and I'm gonna get emotional. Why do they even have to have fictional character deaths? It doesn't seem fair. I feel like everyone knows the episode where like Manny gets a thong and like has her little transformation. It's iconic. Manny Santos walked so that Maddie from Euphoria could run. It's also where a lot of the stars that are in this list elsewhere got their starts, like Nina Dobrev and that girl that's in 90210. She's kind of annoying in both shows, and Drake also. I'm gonna put it in Miley's Bun because even though I haven't seen all of it, I know it is absolutely iconic. Okay, next we have Friday Night Lights. One moment, please. Okay, that's better.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football.
Friday Night Lights is set in Texas. I think it's in a fake town, Dillon, Texas. This show...
The correct answer for favorite TV show is Friday Night Lights.
I watched this a couple of years ago when I had finished One Tree Hill and just had like such a hole in my heart that nothing else could fill. And honestly, this almost did. It is a phenomenal show. It's really unlike anything else I've ever seen, but like there's character development, there is humor, there is heart, there is Tim Riggins. Tim Riggins reminds me so much of long-haired Harry, so that's a bonus. We also have a young Michael B. Jordan and young Jeremy Sumter, aka Peter Pan, aka everyone's first crush. But I think the most important selling point of this show is Miss Tammy Taylor.
She is the mother I never had. I don't know a better person.
I don't know if I want to be Tammy Taylor or be with her. I just know that she is an amazing woman with the best hair I've ever seen. And in saying that, I don't know how such an amazing woman raised such a unpleasant daughter. I just do not like Julie, guys. Julie Taylor is jail for me. I don't know why, I just don't like her. However, Friday Night Lights itself, God tier. Oh my God. Okay, next we have Glee. Where do I even begin?
Because you're all minorities. You're in the Glee Club.
Glee had so many crimes against humanity, but also kind of defined a generation. I remember so clearly when the pilot for this first came out, sitting there and watching it and then seeing their performance of Don't Stop Believing and just being in awe. I talked about this in my movie ranking video, but like this really kickstarted a whole genre of TV and film in the 2000s. The fixation on Glee clubs didn't really get the airtime that it did after Glee, and I really liked that because it was just this wholesome world that I really didn't know anything about until Glee. And I like that they sort of introduced us to that. I feel like everyone has a song on Glee that they feel is better than the original. I honestly could make a whole playlist. Even as the biggest Swiftie you probably know, Santana's version of Mine, when she sings that to Britney. You are the best thing that's ever been mine. Don't sue me for saying this, but their cover of Landslide is also amazing. Obviously, Smooth Criminal.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth criminal.
I think that's one of the greatest songs of our time.
It's gonna happen sometime. She's really good. I don't even know his last name. Yeah.
No, I don't think you understand. I'm obsessed.
The cast are so attractive, so talented. Is Mr. Shu a bit cringy? Yes. And inappropriate? Maybe.
I guess I'm gonna have to show these guys how it's done.
Girls are scantily clad and showing body. A chick walks by and you wish you can sex her, but you're standing on the wall like you was Poindexter.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
I will never get over the scene where they're all jumping into the pool and Artie in a wheelchair just wheels himself in.
We have chosen a selection of songs that speaks to the nation as a whole during these troubling times. If there's two things America needs right now, that is sunshine and optimism.
Imagine there's no heaven.
But that's the thing about Glee. I feel like it's a Ryan Murphy show. It is making fun of itself. It is camp.
I'm gonna fake an epileptic seizure. You are not an epileptic. That's why I'm gonna fake it.
towards the later years, it feels like they shifted away from that, away from like making fun of themselves, and tried to be something really different. I just really preferred the earlier seasons, and I kind of dropped off towards the end, but God, do they have a lot of bangers. I also loved Let Me Love You. Oh, that guy's voice.
Let me love you, and I will love you until you learn to love yourself.
That was so powerful.
I'm gonna put Glee in Miley's bun because you cannot deny that show was iconic. Next we have a show called Greek, which I feel like not a lot of people have seen, and it is so underrated. I mean, if you liked Bama Rush on TikTok, you will love Greek. It's about like sororities and fraternities and these main characters like navigating their college life. It's so good, especially since a lot of shows either skip the college years or don't do it well. Having a specific show about the college years is really, really nice. If you did watch it, let me know if you're a Cappy or an Evan. I unfortunately have dated someone that was very much like Cappy, and not a good time. So I'm gonna go with neither, but we have some banger guest stars in this. My favorite is probably Jesse McCartney, so definitely give it a watch. I'm putting Greek in Miley's bun. Next we have Hellcats, which I have never seen. I think it was about cheerleading. I'm gonna guess that based on their uniforms and their stance. It has Ashley Tisdale and Ali Michalka, which, I mean, I loved her in Easy A, so I love her acting. I'm gonna guess that they're like rival cheerleading squads. Are they maybe a collegiate level? There's probably like pregnancy scares and an injury and maybe like a tryout montage. But for now, it is going in Where the Hell Have I Been, Loca? And then we have, on a similar vein, Make It or Break It, which I also haven't seen, but I feel like I would have loved. I think I just didn't have the channel that it was on. Gymnastics, I'm gonna guess there's like a really bitchy girl and then maybe like a new nice shy girl. I mean, I'm just thinking of Stick It basically, which is the best film of all time, so I'm hoping it's similar to that, but it is going in Where the Hell Have I Been, Loca? And don't judge me for not having seen any of these shows. Well, I have no excuse. We've been in a 2-year pandemic and I've had nothing but free time, so I'll get onto it. Misfits is a show I know literally nothing about, except my cousin was in it, Robert Sheehan. We obviously have the same name. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know him at all. He's just the only person that I know that has the same name as me. It seems to be about a bunch of people in jail. I think they're teenagers. Well, I'm guessing because I searched like iconic teen shows. Misfits. So they're on the outskirts of society. They don't belong. They're not like other girls. Have you ever seen them without that hat? That's weird. They're a weirdo.
I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in.
I feel like they have powers or something. How do they get their powers? Are they like X-Men where they're just like born with it? Are X-Men even born with it? Or is it Maybelline? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, Misfits is going in Where the Hell Have I Been, Loca? Next we have Puberty Blues. Now, a lot of you may not know this. If you're Australian, you definitely know this, but I included this because it is such an iconic show, and one of my best friends played one of the 2 lead girls, Debbie, and I just, oh, she's so good. If you haven't seen it, this is me inviting you to take the chance to change your life. It was originally a book that got turned into a movie and then remade into a TV show, and it's basically about life in Australia in the 70s, or specifically in Sydney, in this little pocket of Sydney, and it is so good. When this was airing, it was all anyone could talk about in Australia and like at my school. Just like the lingo and the storylines are so phenomenal, and what I love is that at the heart of it is just about female friendship and the power of female friendship, which you know on this channel, big fan of, and so it is just really heartwarming. It definitely shows the realities of like dating back then and sort of the expectations for young women to be having sex, and there was no concept really of consent and things like that, but I like that it showed what that was like, and then eventually the girls like learning to stand up for themselves, and just, oh, it's just so good. It's also a really nice show that you can watch with your parents because there are like adult storylines. If they grew up in this time, they can probably tell you stories. Maybe that's not a good idea. Okay, scratch that. Anyway, this is an iconic show. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should. So it is going in Miley's bun. I love it so much. Now I want to rewatch it. Next we have The Secret Life of the American Teenager. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that I did watch a little bit of this show, like more than one season, I think. And it is just so bizarre. Like the way that they write the dialogue for this show, it's like they make the characters repeat everything that the other one has said. And I just don't get it.
So you're back.
I guess I am.
Guess?
Yeah, I guess I'm back.
You're not moving or anything like that, are you?
Does it matter to you if I move or anything like that?
This is so cringe. Guilty.
The only character that I liked was Adrian. She was just like so unapologetically herself, and also in real life gave Selena Gomez a kidney. What an incredible woman. However, the rest of this show did make me want to die a little bit. For that, it is going into Jail. Then we have the Carrie Diaries, which I feel like was really unexpectedly good. Like with shows like that that are kind of a reboot or a remake or sort of regenerating an old idea rather than anything new, I don't have high hopes. And it's kind of the reason I didn't like the Gossip Girl remake. I'm just like, make something new. You can't touch the iconic like 2000s classic. However, Carrie Diaries, surprisingly good. I'm also just a sucker for Anna Sophia Robb. I love her. I think anything she does is pretty good. Oh my god, she was Leslie in Bridge of Terabithia, wasn't she? There's been way too much talk of fictional characters' deaths in this video. Let's not go there. So the costume designer from the Carrie Diaries also did the costumes for the old Noah just tweeted something. Also did Gossip Girl, which makes a lot of sense. They would have them in outfits that I would want to recreate, which is really fun. It's definitely not God tier and I don't think I would call it iconic, but it's definitely fun. So I'm gonna put it in recycling because I would watch it again. Okay, next up we have Skins.
Yeah, wow.
Now this is specifically the British Skins because I didn't ever watch the American one. A lot of the time American remakes are not that good. This came out when I was like a bit younger and it honestly just scared me a little bit. Like I feel like the themes in this show were just way more, not grown up because they're obviously kids as well, but dark than what I was used to. I was still watching Lizzie McGuire at this point, and so to see a show get so big and was so popular with all my friends, and it was about like doing drugs and eating disorders and being drunk all the time, and I was just like, okay. I just simply could not relate, and I honestly feel like this show was responsible for like a lot of people's, I'm not gonna say mental illness, but struggles. It kind of glorified a lot of the things. I mean, they literally have a scene with a girl showing you how to not eat food, so that was basically a how-to for every girl that was on Tumblr at the time. Not great. This show kind of reminds me a bit of Euphoria in the sense that like these kids are teenagers and they're in school age, but they're doing things that are just worrying me. I just feel like this show gave everyone a lot of mental health problems. Mine didn't come until later, and that was probably from Glee. I'm gonna put Skins in, look, it doesn't belong down there, so let's put it in recycling. But would I watch it again? No. So I'm gonna put it in jail. No, it can't go in jail because it has Dev Patel, so it can stay in recycling, but you're on thin ice. Next we have Smallville, which I know is about like Superman. I think it's like his lore. I don't know if it's like how he became Superman or it's just him trying to live his Hannah Montana life, like best of both worlds, being Clark Kent and also Superman. I had to mention it because Tom Welling is, I mean, he's Charlie Baker, my favorite of the 12 Baker children. I have an entire Spotify playlist inspired by this man. You know when people make fan cams or like fan edits on Twitter and TikTok and stuff? If I would ever make one, it would be for Charlie Baker. I just love him so much. I will say the bald guy on the poster here, a bit scary. However, I haven't seen Smallville, so where the hell have I been, Loca? Next we have So Little Time. Another very iconic theme song. I get annoyed all the time that it's not on Spotify. I also quote Manuelo all the time. I don't hate it. I really loved it, but just maybe not as much as I love like a lot of their movies. It either belongs in Miley's bun or recycling. You know what? I just remembered their hairstyles, the half crimped, half straightened. Iconic. Miley's bun. Next we have Summerland, which I included specifically to force you to watch it because I know a lot of people have never heard of it or never seen it, and that is a crime. So in this show we have Zac Efron, Jesse McCartney, and a literal felon. It is so good. I feel like if you like The OC, you will love Summerland. One of my best friends and I rewatch this every single summer and it literally never gets old. It has an iconic theme song.
When I see you smile, I know everything's okay.
It has lots of Jesse McCartney songs throughout it because it was kind of around when he was just blowing up. It also has a girl that looks like this. I think about Erica more than I should, honestly. Summerland is going straight to God tier. Okay, then we have Teen Wolf, which surprisingly I also haven't seen, and I feel like I would like this show. I love Dylan O'Brien, so I don't know what's stopping me. I just can't really get that into like supernatural kind of things, like fantasy or supernatural. I tend to like things that are a bit more like grounded in reality. I say that as like a huge Harry Potter fan, which I guess you can see from like my top tier. It's all the sort of most realistic shows. I'm guessing it's inspired by the 80s movie with Michael J. Fox where a boy turns into a wolf, and then there's probably a storyline about like his friends finding out. Dylan O'Brien gives me big like Seth Cohen energy when I've seen photos or gifs from him in this show, which I mean I think I would love. Maybe that should be next on my list, but for now it needs to go into Where the Hell Have I Been Loca. Clearly I have my work cut out for me with this list. And following up on that, we have Veronica Mars, which I also haven't seen, but I think I would love. I feel like she's like a young detective, like she's like solving crimes. Wow, she was way ahead of the true crime craze. I also know that the fans crowdfunded a movie, so clearly this has also a big cult following. Veronica Mars, Where the Hell Have I Been Loca? Now we're up to Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl is real?
Okay, I have a lot to say. As a society, I feel like we let Chuck Bass get away with way too much. Like I see a lot of Chuck and Blair shippers out there and I'm like, that's great, you do you, but he literally tried to R-word a girl in the first episode. It's hard for me to have a character like come back from that. He also tried to sell his girlfriend for a hotel. I don't know, man. I just feel like every character on this show is kind of evil, except my boy Nate Archibald. He is perfect. When Blair lost her virginity to Chuck in the limousine, that scene, why is it edited like a fan edit? Like the rolling shutter and the filters. I just want to know whose decision that was, and I want to have a little chat with them. Why would you do that? Again, Gossip Girl is one of those shows where you hear a song from one of those scenes and you are instantly transported. When you hear What You Say, do you think of the OC when Marissa shoots someone, or do you think of the Thanksgiving episode of Gossip Girl?
What you say, oh, that you only meant well.
Anyway, I love Gossip Girl for the escapism of it. Again, it's like rich people, Upper East Siders with these problems that I could simply never relate to. And I love that. When I was in high school, I went on exchange to a prep school in New York as well, and I expected it to be just like this. I was a little bit let down, mostly with their fashion, but that's okay. The impact that this show had on fashion for all of society, but also myself, was definitely real. Especially the first 2 seasons. I think about like the colorful tights and the colorful pea coats, and obviously the headbands. This show is the reason I would look up the forecast for the week when I was in high school and plan my outfits for every day. Granted, it was all like from an op shop and not cute, but I was trying. The problem is I really liked Little J and I loved Jenny Humphrey when she was, how do I say this, nice and boring. I just liked that she was a little bit different to everyone else. So when Taylor Momsen went off the deep end and started getting really dark and edgy, and like Jenny's journey kind of followed that, it was a bit hard to watch. Also, can we talk about Willa Holland and how stunning that girl is? What a good actress. To be the beautiful troublemaker in 2 shows on this list, outstanding. The fact that Seth Cohen and Blair are married in real life is just too wholesome. I love them so much. They're a beautiful couple. Do they have kids? If not, would they adopt me? I also just loved the messy characters on this show, like Georgina Sparks.
The only one who wasn't there with us that night.
You're the only one who owns a hoodie.
The Harriet the Spy to Georgina Sparks pipeline, an icon. Much like Pretty Little Lies, this show I feel like kind of tapered off towards the end when we find out who Gossip Girl is, but then that like no one cared, and I feel like we all know at this point. So the fact that it was Dan, loved that, great reveal, but why did Serena still end up with him? I'm sorry, Serena should have ended up with Nate, Dan should have ended up alone or like with Vanessa in Queens, where I didn't have to see either of them. First few seasons, iconic, god tier. Last few seasons, they kind of lost me for a little bit, so I'm gonna put it in Miley's bun. It was iconic and it always will be. Next we have What I Like About You, starring Miss Amanda Bynes. I have absolutely no clue what this show is about. I think it's like teen girl moves to the big city and is like with a bunch of new friends. I don't think it was that big in Australia, or at least not on like free TV, which is all I had, but I feel like it's something I would love. I love Amanda's comedy and her acting, and especially this time in her life, sort of post Big Fat Liar, pre Easy A. I feel like that was like the prime of her career, so I should definitely watch this. For now, it's going in Where the Hell Have I Been Loca? And on that note, we're done. So this is a look at my tiers. It honestly hurt me not putting Glee and Pretty Little Liars in God tier because they are amazing, but just towards the end, they both really tapered off, whereas the shows in that God tier consistently phenomenal the whole way through. Just know in my heart, they are honestly God tier. Feel free to bully me for my opinions, you always do. Let me know in the comments what you would have done differently, and also any shows that I might have missed. And also let me know what you would like to see next time. Make sure you guys are following my Instagram. It's where I ask a lot of my questions for these videos, and it's just a lot of fun. As always, I had so much fun filming this and making this, and maybe not editing this because this one's going to be a beast, I can already tell. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!